check, mic, check, 1, 1. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright. Let me check the mic. We need some sound. We need some sound. Peace, peace. What's good, 16? Peace, what's good, family? How's everyone doing? Alright. I don't like that mic, that camera. But I guess I have to deal with it today. Like, boom, 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 boom. Alright, greetings, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Alright. Hope everyone's doing alright. Trying to make some things manifest, trying to make some things happen. Alright, so in the divine name of the Supreme Being, I want to greet everyone with a civilized greeting in a very uncivilized time. Peace, shalom, hotep, assalamu alaikum, whatever greeting that you go by. Alright, we really appreciate everyone coming on this evening at the 9 o'clock hour. Alright. While Shane is working on that thumbnail, I guess that's what he's working on. I don't even know. But shout out to Shane, Jules in the building, the Jewel of the Nile. He don't even know how he got that. I'm just saying, you have to pay me for that one. It's copyright infringement or something. But anyway, I want to shout out everyone that's here tonight. Tonight we're going to discuss the abortion law, Roe versus Wade, and the anti-abortion. All right, so hope everyone is bringing their, not wearing their sensitivity on their sleeve, bringing information to the table. Alright. Sometimes it's a beautiful thing. Well, I guess in this case, all the time it's a beautiful thing, not announcing these subject matters. A lot of times you put a flyer out and you let people know what you're talking about. Like people already have the argument before you come on. Alright, but anyway, so thanks to the Sirius Mindz family, we're able to broadcast the way we're broadcasting, and we're trying to put information up at the same time. We're trying to make it attractive, and so we can talk about situations like anti-abortion, and we can talk about Roe versus Wade. Alright, so put your thinking caps on. Do not wear your sensitivity on your sleeve, and I'm letting everyone know out there, I'm not taking any position on this. The position I'm taking is a talk show host to facilitate a conversation, all right, a conversation with the Sirius Mindz family and whoever else would like to come on and have this conversation. All right, certain points I may take a side or two or whatever. Sometimes I may play devil's advocate, for lack of a better term, but yeah. In the meantime, between time, we're just going to facilitate the conversation. Keep in mind, I'm going to say some things that you probably have heard that's on the internet and that's out there, and some things you probably haven't heard. With that said, thank you to all the supporters of the Sirius Mindz platform. namely Shane on the engineering and 16 on the moderating, and all the other brothers and sisters that text me and send me emails with show titles and suggestions. This one was suggested by Soleil and Shane that we discuss this particular topic. This platform is supported by the people. Alright? By the people. Alright, if you would like to donate or contribute to Sirius Mindz platform, just take a look down there and scrolling across the bottom of the screen and choose your poison. Pick your poison. You can Cash App. That's $ProfessorGrtiff. Whatever church you belong to, whatever denomination you belong to. Did I say church? Whatever denomination you belong to, the 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. Alright? Just Cash App me, Professor Griff, $Professor Griff, or go to PayPal, paypal.me/Professor Griff Corp. Or just go to the website, www.ProfessorGrtiff.me, and donate to the cause. Really appreciate that. Alright. If you're on here, right now on the super chat, then by all means be my guest. Just hit the $ and donate whatever you feel like you want to donate. Yeah, make this a little bit stronger right here, bro. Push it in, and because it's like it has a serious. Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate that. All right. So, hold on. Hold on. Which ones did you send, 16? Which ones? I don't know which ones you took. I'm going to go to the email, see which ones you sent. Alright. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Alright. Oh, yeah, I'm using a few, 16. I pulled some up, read through some things, but I don't know where the conversation is going to go just yet, so I'm not sure which ones I'm going to pull up at what time. I have something, but I don't have anything. I got a whole lot of nothing. All right. What was I saying? Now, the super chat. The reason why we're trying to get everybody over here on the Sirius Mindz YouTube channel is so everyone can participate not only in giving donations, but you can participate in what we're doing here. Seeing the images, participating in the chat, so we can facilitate this dialogue. Alright? Hold on. Alright. The super chat. We truly appreciate everyone that gives donations. And it's easier just to kind of do the super chat. Some people just fickle about coming over to YouTube. Some people just, they stay on Facebook and they stay on IG. Guess we can't blame them for that. They have to do what they have to do, but we do have to understand that. But in the meantime, between time, alright, we are going to discuss Roe versus Wade, and we are going to discuss abortion. We're going to discuss those that take the far left, anti-abortion, or, pardon me, the far right. Those that take the far left, abortion. Those that stay safely in the middle, pro-life. Some say pro-choice. Whatever it is that you know and understand, and whatever about this particular decision that, unfortunately, old decrepit men gotta make for women. I don't get that. I'm never going to get that. A woman should be able to make their own decisions for her own health and her own body. Alright? But keep in mind, I do know and understand that there should be a limit. You shouldn't use abortion as birth control. All right? All right, so these are just some of the things. I'm just having a basic discussion, feeling y'all out right now. All right? Some of these lawmakers that want to make it an entire criminal act to punish women for getting an abortion don't take the same position when it comes to the men that get them pregnant. All right? But when you start talking about, even when it comes to rape, the woman still can't get an abortion. Wow. Even when it comes to incest, a woman still can't get an abortion. It's against the law. All right? I say no. A woman should have total control over what she does with her body. In the case of sex, if a woman says no, I don't care what you look like, a Tekken, Statue of Liberty, or a rotten banana. It don't matter. I'm saying to you, no means no. And that's the end of the story. All right, pack it up, zip it up, go home. Go watch, what's the name? No, Scooby-Doo, man. Eat Captain Crunch cereal, whatever you got to do, all right, to talk your little friend down off the bridge. It is what it is. All right? Pro-choice versus pro-life. All right? What's the argument? All right? What is the argument with Roe versus Wade? Why are we seeing that it's a direct result? And I'm saying this. A direct result from older white men that are in position, powerful white men that are in the position and power in America. All right? That feel that they have to control everything because they may be losing their grip on some degrees of power, because it seems like women now, all right, are gaining power and strength. And it's, if you feel anything, you should, in watching the news and seeing what's going on in the world, women are gaining this kind of power, this kind of collective cohesiveness when it comes to what women should get out of this society, rights that women should have. So when it comes to Roe versus Wade, we're going to read that in a minute. But when it comes to Roe versus Wade, I don't think that should be overturned, and I don't think any woman should sit idly by. If you're not educated about this particular issue, get educated about this issue, because it concerns you. Sometimes we feel, well, I'm 50 years old, I ain't have no more children, so that abortion thing don't matter to me. But what about your children? What about your grandchildren's children? All right? What about your niece and your cousin? All right? What about your best friend's girlfriend children? So we have to understand that. All right? You have to raise our voices so those that are sitting in the position to make these laws, all right, feel the effect. To say that a woman cannot get an abortion for whatever reason that she decided to get the abortion should be a family issue between her and her mate, her and her family, and her and her God. All right? That is a Professor Griff position. I know I'm supposed to be neutral in facilitating this conversation, but there's certain things I can't overlook. I still have to be me. I still have to be human. All right? And I got to lay some things out that I think are facts. All right? Okay. If you do not allow women to remain in control of their own bodies, then you're relegating women to the status of property. Because if women were to get together and start regulating laws on what men should do with their penises, then I think there'll be a real problem, especially the tiny white pink ones. There'll be a real problem. Yeah, Quan. Yeah, nah, yeah. So, this channel is about the business of raising the vibrational pitch of our people's thinking into the mind of the Creator. I heard someone today when I was studying, Christian, far right, baby Bible babbler, the Bible thumper, say, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do if what? Jesus was the boyfriend that got the woman pregnant? Jesus was the one that was making a law? Or Jesus was the doctor that's performing the abortion? Which one are you talking about? What would Jesus do in what situation? Let's stop putting it on some fictional character that didn't even exist. Let's put it back on your shoulders. What would you do if you were the doctor and you knew this woman was raped and she came in to abort the child? What would you do? All right. Then what happens now when you do not educate, all right, a vast majority of the people that don't have access to contraceptives, that haven't been educated about that, about birth control and birth control laws. All right? Because right now as we speak, agree with me or disagree with me, Lucretia, Tyquisha, and all the rest of them, they're not going to stop having sex. They just not. They don't understand what the law is. They're not trying to read the law. They're not. They're not. So we need to understand that. What I need everyone to do right now is everyone text or hit up 3 other people and let them know we're on discussing this particular subject. As we raise the vibrational pitch of our people's thinking into the mind of the Creator and the co-creator. And we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, kneeling at the feet of our elders. In our Africanness, what will we do? What do they do in Africa? What do they do in other countries? All right? Why only in America do we see thousands and yet millions of women protesting to keep abortion illegal, keep abortion legal? All right? So we're getting into the idea of, or the conversation about when is a child in the womb, and how many weeks. And now listen, if you far gone and you know you 169 weeks pregnant, you cannot be getting no abortion. That's just murder. I'm exaggerating the numbers, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about. All right, I'm not gonna say 6 weeks or 10 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever. I'm no one to determine that, because I'm not going to be on here on Sirius Mindz playing God. Alright? With the big G. I'm just saying that even that the woman should determine for herself. But there should be a limit. Alright? Some people are talking about the heartbeat law. If you hear a heartbeat, then that's an actual human being inside of you, and there should be no abortion. Alright? So we're talking about pro-choice, pro-life, pro-health, pro-family. All right? So I had a discussion today with this beautiful young lady downstairs, and we was having this discussion, and Soleil said to me, I said to her, when should it start? Should we have the discussion right here, right now, when we have to determine what happens with the young women that we're responsible for? All right? And then we start with pro-family, pro-life, all right, and pro-health. Pro-family, pro-life, and pro-health. With that educational component in place, then you can rest assured you can leave the decision of a woman's body up to a woman. All right? Okay. Now, 16, can you put back up on the board Roe versus Wade? All right? Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Let's raise the vibrational pitch of our people's thinking into the mind of God. Whatever you call God. Alright? In the meantime, between time, we have to have this discussion. Alright? Roe versus Wade. Algernon S. Yeah, I wanted the law that the court case that you put up earlier. I saw it, but it got by me. All right. Peace, Raj. What's up, bro? What's happening? All right. Roe versus Wade, constitutional right to access to safe and legal abortions. Roe versus Wade. Google that. The constitutional right to access safe and legal abortion. All right. Roe versus Wade was a 1973 landmark decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. The court ruled that the state law that banned abortions except to save the life of the mother was unconstitutional. The ruling made abortion legal in many circumstances, as it should. Women should have access. The extenuating circumstances lies with the woman and her support group that's around her. Like I said earlier, we're going to educate, because we're talking about pro-health, pro-life, and pro-family. We're going to educate young women to the degree where they're not going to use abortion as a form of birth control. Now, if anyone is innocent in this matter, discussing this, regardless of what side you're on, male or female, all right? Raise your hand if you're innocent in all of this. People say, well, what do you mean by that, Griff? Have you encouraged someone to get an abortion? Have you the one that got the abortion? Are you a man that impregnated a woman and forced her to get an abortion, or you was okay with that? All right? Whatever you went through in your life, whatever decision that you've come to this particular point, all right, I'm sure you would agree with me that we're not going to allow, all right, stiff, no pun intended, old, decrepit, outdated ass control freaks in Washington and in all the other capitals of all the other states, all right, manipulate and control and force women to keep children, whether it's from rape, incest, or whatever. Stop that. No, that's not your decision to make. All right? That's not your decision to make. That's the woman's decision to make. Some people say, well, what about women that are mentally ill? Well, we should start way before she start having sex. We need to deal with the mental illness. All right? And even in that case, it should be an educational component when we start talking about pro-health, pro-family, and pro-life. Most of us, not all, most of us are getting together with women and women getting together with men, not for the purpose of procreating. All right? This whole biological thing that happens in us is a very natural thing. I don't want to drag this out, but it's a very natural thing. I'm supposed to be attracted to you. You are supposed to be attracted to me. We're supposed to like one another's scent, like the way we walk and talk and move. This is the thing that the Creator put in us so that we can be attracted to one another, to produce children, to have families. All right? There just needs to be some guidelines set up. What are the 3 things that Elijah Muhammad said the slave master would never teach the slave? Help me out. Come on now. Raj, I know you know that, bro. Help me out, bro. See, 16, you said for me to be patient and let the audience answer. I'm trying. I'm getting better at this. All right? I'm getting better at this, man. What are the 3 things? Renee Brooks, no. 3 things. Elijah Muhammad said there was 3 things that the white man will not teach us. The science of warfare, the science of business, and the science of mating. Thank you, Bilal. 16. You see how patient I was? Bilal came through like a fat rat in a cheese factory, man. For real. If they did not teach us the science of mating, what was he trying to do? When they forced mating on the plantation, to have us go into family members, to have us go into one another's relatives, having us to go into women just to produce the child, to produce more slaves. And then we came up out of that, having that same behavior, because after 400 years of that, you're not going to automatically turn around for the few men and women that did get married on the plantation, which was illegal. You're not going to turn around and know how to put a family together and act right and all these things that go into keeping a family together. Come on. Someone had to come along and teach us that. So the Roe versus Wade landmark legal decision issued on January 22nd, 1973, in which the Supreme Court struck down a Texas statute banning abortion, effectively legalizing the procedure across the United States. So it's a legal procedure. All right? Prior to Roe versus Wade, abortion had been illegal throughout much of the country since the late 1900s. What happened during that period? During that period, women was taking drugs to induce the abortion. Women were sticking coat hangers up themselves. Women were doing all kinds of things to get rid of children. And then even when they went through the pregnancy and had the child, they'd leave the child in the alleyway or the back dumpster. All right? All right, study Roe versus Wade's history. All right, what did Roe versus Wade accomplish? In its ruling, the court recognized for the first time that the constitutional right is privacy. Is broad enough to encompass a woman's decision whether or not to terminate her pregnancy. It's truly on the woman, not the court, not the state, not rich white men in power, not your angry ass boyfriend because the condom popped. None of that stuff. It's up to the woman. All right? Peace, Carrie. How you doing? Okay. Roe has become to be known as the case that legalized abortion nationwide. All right? Now, what does that have to say about eugenics? Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood. What does that have to say in those cases? Who was Roe and who was Wade? Norma Leah Nelson McCorvey, September 22nd, 1947 through February 18th, 2017, better known by the legal pseudonym as Jane Roe, was the plaintiff in the landmark American lawsuit Roe versus Wade in 1973. The United States Court, are you using, what's the name? You using Chrome? Because it only does that when what's the name is up.
Oh, I sent an email.
Oh. Yeah. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the individual state law banning abortion are unconstitutional. All right. What was the Roe versus Wade decision? The United District Court for the Northern District of Texas affirmed in part, reversed in part, Roe versus Wade. I'm not going to get you the statute number and all this kind of stuff. In a landmark decision issued in 1973 by the United States Supreme Court on the issue of the constitutionality of laws that criminalize or restricted access to abortion. All right. Okay. In 1973, how many babies were aborted? Smith said since 1973, when the Supreme Court handed down its decision in Roe versus Wade, there's been well over 54 million abortions. The Guttmacher Institute has tracked roughly 49.3 million abortions through 2008. And from 2008 to present, how many abortions you think took place in America? And then when you divide them up by region, race, age group, how many abortions you think were performed by Planned Parenthood inside of and near the black neighborhoods? Smith says, pardon me. It says, who was Henry Wade in the Roe versus Wade case? 1971, the Supreme Court agrees to hear the case filed by Norma McCorvey, known in the court documents as Jane Roe, against Henry Wade, the district attorney of Dallas County from 1951 to 1987, who enforced a Texas law that prohibited abortion, except to save the woman's life. Is it a religious matter that we're discussing here? Is it a political matter that we're discussing here? Is this a family issue that we're discussing here? Is it a moral issue that we're discussing? All right? So one of the questions I have that I want to throw out there, do unborn babies have constitutional rights? Do unborn babies have constitutional rights? All right? So we already asked one question earlier. When does the actual cells and everything else and that makes up a child during the first weeks, I'd say 6 to 10, that make up a child, when do they consider, not me, I'm being neutral in this, when do they consider it an actual human being? It's one of the questions I want to ask. Along with, when do unborn babies have constitutional rights? And if they have constitutional rights, what right in the Constitution? It's a normal matter, not political. I believe every tub has a stand on its own, but I'm not understanding that, Quan. It's a normal matter, not political. I believe every tub has to stand on its own bottom, which means everyone has to stand accountable to the Creator for their actions. Freedom, will. Got you. Okay, so with that said, somebody give me the stats. I need some numbers on how many black women aborted babies, children, or just getting abortions as opposed to white. And why is it that we see the Planned Parenthoods set up in the black neighborhood? And is there an agenda behind the whole abortion conversation now? The conversation, the debate. All right. In 2015, 638,169 legal induced abortions were reported to the CDC from 49 reporting areas. The abortion rate for 2015 was 11.8 abortions per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44 years, and the abortion ratio was 188 abortions per 1,000 live births. Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to ask a basic question. Now, I've heard this conspiracy theory, And y'all help me out. Alright? Someone said, not mentioning any names, that the reason why this abortion debate is coming up is because they want to decimate the ranks of black people so it could preserve and help the white population grow. What do y'all think about that? 19 million abortions in 19 something. Joe Kerry, what do you mean true? What's true? You think because of this, white people's ranks are going to swell? Because for every birth, there's a death. Alright? When it comes to studying that particular dynamic on whether or not black people outnumber white people on the planet. Alright? So in order for white people numbers to grow, someone said on the internet, one of the conspiracy theorists, that, this is one of their tricks that they're going to pull in order to decimate the ranks of black people and to swell the ranks in the white population, as far as the white population is concerned. What do y'all think about that? Yeah, Margaret Sanger was the founder of Planned Parenthood, which was created so black women could abort their babies. I'm a black woman, and I believe a woman should have a choice, but abortion is murder. So what are you giving the woman the choice of then, if abortion is murder? I'm saying a woman should have a choice, period. Whether to have a baby, get an abortion, whatever. I don't think the state or anyone else should force women to keep children. Now, when it becomes a moral issue, then that woman got to take that up with her God. I would question 9 areas of people activity, which are economic, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival. Are white people using this to survive? Margaret Sanger says we want to exterminate the Negro population. All right? So they made abortions commonplace. Okay. So let's look at this, and all right, so I'm not asking anybody to have Professor Griff as their moral compass. I'm not. I'm saying to you, search your own mind and your own heart. All right? What do you think about the family? Husband, wife, 3 children. They can't even afford the 3 children. Wife ends up getting pregnant again. She doesn't want to keep the child. She should be locked up for the rest of her life if she decides to get an abortion. If there is a heartbeat, I agree that it is murder. Just my opinion. Okay. G-Town. Alright. Alright, I see it's getting kind of heated, so everybody just kind of relax, bring it down, take a deep breath. Alright? Take a deep breath. We're only going to be on here for a few more minutes on the book, so, alright? Education, Alex Little said teach them the rhythm method. When nature's calling Alex Little, that is very hard to do. So the government wants total control over women's bodies. Isn't that The Handmaid's Tale? Absolutely correct. The movie The Handmaid's Tale. Can you put that on the screen, Shane? That's a deep movie to watch. The Handmaid's Tale. Alright. So let's understand the dynamic that's taking place here. All right. Yeah. So if we put in abortion law, so there's someone that refused to enforce the abortion law. Now, what do you think will happen to those particular individuals?
Sparking over 500 protests across the country, organized flooding state houses, courthouses, city streets. You're looking.
I mean, he's absolutely correct. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Charlotte, West Hollywood, St. Louis, St. Petersburg, Florida. Everyone's coming out to protest because they're tired of stale, white, stiff white men in Hollywood. I mean, why did I say Hollywood? In D.C., in Capitol Hill, and on top of all these other hills in all these cities, making decisions for women. All right? Nationwide protests erupt over abortion bans across the United States. All right? I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing vote pro-choice, pro-life. My mind, my body, my choice. Get out of my womb. Get out of my vajiji. God damn. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Long live Roe versus Wade. Wow. This woman got a sign that says, "Mother from rape. I love my child." Another woman standing next to her has, "Trust women. They've had their bodies all their lives." This other sign here says, "Before Roe versus Wade, an annual 1.2 million American women turned to illegal abortions to terminate a pregnancy, and it is estimated 5,000 of them died each year from complications." Wow. So do you think white men that make these decisions for women care about that? Despite constant political debate in the 40 years since the Supreme Court decided Roe versus Wade, Americans have consistently remained in favor of it. All right? I think just the bottom line, I think it's a moral issue. I think it's a family issue. I think it's a pro-health, pro-family issue. I don't think that decision should be left in anyone's hands. That's just my take on it. Are they turning this into a political matter that's going overboard, way overboard? I think so. What about? Okay, don't even know about that. I don't know absolutely nothing about that. Abortion ruling. Mother knows best. Roe versus Wade. The question is, does the woman, the mother, know best? Help me out. Does the woman know best what's best for her own body? I say, yeah. What do y'all say? I'm reading some stuff and it's just ridiculous, man. Let's put in I'm not gonna tell you what I'm putting in. I'm just gonna pull it up. I should say women and abortions. Comments about women and okay. All right. Let's take this, copy it, and put it here. All right. I just put in something simple. Let's see what comes up. What did politicians say about women and abortions? All right. Male politicians who oppose abortion rights are going to face. Did anti-abortion activists outreach in Alabama? Republicans' messaging on abortion puts Democrats on the defensive. In the abortion flight 2020, female candidates lead the call to arms. Wow. This is a war on women, Senator Christine Gillibrand said. A women's political action group applauded several other female, and she indicated that statements from Mr. Biden and Mr. Buttigieg, yeah, he sounded like he would be against abortion. His name is Buttigieg, but did not go far enough. Trump owns this attack on American women and abortion. Okay. Why are places like Missouri and other places following suit? We have to look into that and see. Trump owns this attack on American women. Why does Trump own the attack? Hold on. A war on women. Let's look at United States politics to describe certain Republican Party in August 2012. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right, on the book, y'all take care of yourselves. I'm out. I'm going to continue over here on YouTube. Come on over. We're going to be over here for a minute. All right, peace. All right, hold on. Keep in mind, mic check 1 2 1 2 is on deck. June 5th. All right, registration starts next week. All right, it'll be up on my website in a minute. All right. All right. Figured something out. 16. I will do part of the show on Facebook to get them over here, and part of the show on IG. All right, to get them over here. All right. All right. All right, now what did Kim say? What did I miss? Abortions are cruel. Sometimes the babies are born alive. The doctor kills the baby. This is murder. You're absolutely right, Kim Clark. All right. Woo. All right, this is Professor Griff for Sirius Mindz. For Sirius Mindz, we're here. We come on at 9 o'clock. So, yeah. Sometimes we stay on an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes we stay on 30 minutes. It depends on what's going on in the world. All right. Normally we stay on for an hour. But if you're just joining us, we're talking about Roe versus Wade. We're talking about the abortion law. We're talking about the anti-abortion law. We are talking about pro-life, pro-family, pro-choice, pro-education, pro-health. All right. Okay. The main basic question here is, should women be in control of their bodies when they decide to terminate a pregnancy? All right. Should we allow the state to make laws to govern that particular choice that women should have with their mate, their family, their support unit? All right. Okay. Last week, Alabama passed the most restrictive abortion law in the country. In addition to banning nearly all abortions except in cases where the pregnancy poses a serious health risk to the mother, doctors who perform the procedure can be convicted of a felony and jailed for life. You can go to jail for life from now on if you perform an abortion procedure. The law has yet to go into effect, and politicians have explicitly stated that their desire for legal challenges to make it up to the Supreme Court as a part of a long-standing effort to overturn Roe v. Wade. And given the bench's conservative slant after Justices Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh's confirmations under President Donald Trump, that may be a real possibility. So the people that are there now in place to fight these things or to support these things, all right, and it don't look like it's working in women's favor. All right. Is murder murder? When do you determine that that's an actual child in your womb? Sometimes women don't even know they're pregnant until 2 months go by. Am I right or wrong? Help me out. So then when you discover that you're pregnant, and you decide to terminate the pregnancy, you should go to jail for life? You and the doctor? Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm just trying to wrap my brain around it. Where does Trump stand on abortion? After years of saying he was pro-choice, Trump changed his tune when he decided to run for president. It's useful to revisit a long-forgotten town hall from March 2016 when then-candidate Trump told MSNBC's Chris Matthews he was pro-life. When pressed on what the law should be, Trump said the answer is that there has to be some kind of form of punishment. Wow. Matthews tried to clarify the saying for the women, to which Trump responded, yeah, there has to be some form of punishment for women getting abortions. I say absolutely not. I say if you're going to punish the women, then punish the man for getting the woman pregnant. If that happens, there's a whole lot of people, especially some of them old dudes, all right, that Viagra don't even work for. They're still trying to knock up some of these young sisters in the hood. There should be a law on both sides. "4 months, the baby has a brain." Okay, so what if you find out that you're pregnant a month later, 2 months later? Because it takes a month anyway, because if your menses don't come around, then you know something is up. So it's going to take 30 days anyway. Unless you know your body that well and you start, you start feeling whatever you're feeling. I don't know. I've never been pregnant. I'm a man. This is why I kind of figure men shouldn't make these laws to govern women. Okay, Von, I got you. I'm pro-choice. A woman, she can do whatever she wants to with her body. We don't know people's situations in life. Now, once conceived, that a baby point blank is a baby, that's point blank, period. All right, I got you. All right. Some said the morning after pill. The morning after what? No, I know what you mean. Wow. So if you don't know till 3 months later, what have you decided this is not what we want? I'm saying to you, where is the responsibility? Should the responsibility be on our shoulders, all right, along with the woman that we're sleeping with? Because as soon as you enter into that act, you got to determine whether or not, is this pro-life, pro-health, pro-family, or I'm just getting some, or what if this ends up in a pregnancy? Then what am I going to do? All right? No, you're right, Nubian Bookstore, my man Marcus. Watch my Alpha 21 documentary, Nubian Bookstore said. My Alpha 21. Can we pull my Alpha 21 and put my Alpha 21 up on the screen? My Alpha 21. It says, I've noticed that everybody that is for abortion has already been born. This is Ronald Reagan. If you agree with President Ronald Reagan, please click here to sign the petition in support of the Life at Conception Act to overturn Roe versus Wade. Life at conception. Life at conception. Is there life at conception? If the woman is incorrectly in tune with her body, she will know immediately. Thank you, P. Renee. Got you. Life at conception. What about the heartbeat law? All right. What do you think about life at conception? Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Ginsburg said, frankly, I thought at the time of Roe versus Wade decided there was a concern about population growth, and the particular growth in population that we don't want to have too many of. Woo! Wow. That was right to the point. The segment of society that they didn't want them having too many births, they regulated, all right, and offered birth control methods, sometimes sterilization, all right, the Norform patch, the Peterbilt French abortion pill, RU-284. What is that? What's the Peterbilt abortion pill? RU-486, is it? Can somebody help me out with that? Is it RU-486? Somebody look up for RU-486 for me, the abortion pill. They had a sterilization program when it came to black women. All right? As my offer 21 states. So Nubian Bookstore that came on was absolutely on it. Planned Parenthood is so black and brown babies take over. You sure about that, Johnny? I think not. Oh, they don't take over. Okay, I got you. So that black and brown people don't take over. All right. Thanks for correcting that. All right. I was about to send you to the corner with the little hat on, facing the corner, facing the wall. The pill, RU-486. Don't ask me how I remember that. RU-486 was out in the 60s or the 70s, so I don't know how. The debate is a good decision. I think it should be a limit of abortion of women can have in any given month, in a month, white or black. Okay. But is it a racial issue? Are they trying to exterminate black people and preserve the ranks and the growth of white families? This is what I've been hearing from the conspiracy theorists. Ruth Ginsburg said, frankly, I had thought at the time Roe was decided, there was a concern about the population growth, and particularly growth in populations that we don't want to have too many of. Which one is that, Ruth Ginsburg? Wow. This meme says Roe versus Wade. For 40 years ensuring that if some jerk knocks you up, it ain't his problem. What do y'all think about that? Should the man bear responsibility? Should the man go to jail if the woman gets an abortion? If you're going to send the woman to jail, are you sending the man to jail? Come on, talk to me. So the doctor and the woman should go to jail for life? This meme right here says, right to choose, question mark. That's a lie. Babies don't choose to die. Okay? This meme here says, I'm a child, not a choice. All right. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg comes back and says, it's a woman's right to control her own destiny, to be able to make choices without Big Brother State telling her what she can and cannot do with her own body. Hassan Berg said, yes, the man should be... RU 486 was right? Did you look it up? Oh, 16 said, used at 5 to 7 weeks. RU 486 killed the unborn baby whose heart has already begun to beat. This is the only purpose for which the sponsor ever... Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Like I said, don't ask me how I remember that. I wrote it in a poetry piece like years in the 70s or something. I don't know. RU 486, is that murder? Is that... Thanks, 16. But is that murder? RU 486. Okay. The greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion, because it is a war against the child. Mother Teresa. Okay. The Patriot Post. I think it's safe to say that the entire abortion industry is based on a lie. I'm dedicated to spending the rest of my life undoing the law that bears my name. Norma McCorvey, Jane Roe, of Roe versus Wade. Wow. She stepped up to the plate. Alright. Dr. Martin Luther King says injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I wonder what is black people's position on this, man? What is your position on this? Okay. All right. This next meme says he can't speak, he can't vote, but he needs your protection. And it's showing a baby in the womb with the umbilical cord, sucking his thumb. Yeah, nah. These women are standing outside. It's called the culture of death. I am Jane Doe. Trump wants to overturn Roe versus Wade. No woman can call herself free who does not own and control her own body. What do y'all think about that? No woman can call herself free who does not own and control her own body. If you do not have control of your own body, then how are you free? What kind of rights have to be put in place to secure women? So 16, you said you're pro-choice. Okay. The issue of abortion is a two-sided coin. I think I would humbly, even though I'm not supposed to, because I'm supposed to be facilitating this, I think I'd have to agree with you. I am pro-choice. I know I've been sounding pro-choice all night. No woman can call herself free until she can choose consciously whether she will or will not be a mother. I think I am pro-choice. I can't be the one to decide to tell a woman whether or not to keep a child. Planned Parenthood was put in place to kill our babies. The new agenda to create as many babies as possible. So Nubian Bookstore came on and told us to go to Ma'afa 21. What do y'all think we'll hear when we go to Ma'afa 21 if you haven't already heard it? Alright? MAAFA 21.
Society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. I do not join in the belief that the African is our equal in brain or in heart.
We are paying for and even submitting to the dictates of an ever-increasing, unceasingly spawning class of human beings who never should have been born at all.
The laws of nature require the obliteration of the unfit.
The best way to hate a nigger is to hate him before he is born.
American eugenicists were routinely praising Hitler and holding up the Nazi eugenics program as a model for the United States to copy.
Non-white races must be excluded from America. The red and black races, if left to themselves, revert to a savage or semi-savage state in a short time. The only way possible of decreasing Negro population is by means of controlling fertility. Birth control facilities could be extended relatively more to Negroes than to whites, since Negroes are more concentrated in the lower income and education classes.
We hope that the restraint of population growth can come about through voluntary means. But if it does not, involuntary methods will be used.
There should be national sterilization for certain dysgenic types of our population who are being encouraged to breed and would die out were the government not feeding them.
If this movement continues, we soon may be accused of fighting poverty by eliminating the poor and overcoming hunger by removing the hungry.
For all their failures, what the eugenics movement had accomplished was to lay the foundation for the next phase of their plan. And this is where they would find the success that they had been chasing for over 100 years.
Ma'afa 21. Black genocide in the 21st century America. Ma'afa 21. How many people have studied the Global Report 2000? Global Report 2000. Global Report 2000. Come on now. Where it talks about depopulation. Hold on. Principal findings. Rapid growth in the world's population cannot continue through the 21st century and will come to an end either by human decision and action or by the uncontrollable increase in deaths. Alright. Global Report 2000 to the President was released in 1980 by the Council on Environment Equality, and the United States Department of State. It was commissioned by President Jimmy Carter on May 23, 1977, and was directed by Gerald O. Barney. It was based on data collected by different institutions. This data and information was used in the computer models to make projections for the future based on trends for the next decades. The study was translated into German in the same year its publication in the publication, and the additional report under the title Global Future, Time to Act was published in 1981. This is the second study after Limits to Growth that started discussions about possibly future trends such as global warming, energy scarcity, explosive population growth, plant and fauna species eradication, genetic diversity, extinction, the global economic system based on the ultimate wants in contrast to Earth's finite resources. Global Report 2000 to the President. Please Google that and look that up. Alright? Alright. So when it comes to listening to this discussion on abortion, we have to be very mindful. Alright? I'm not telling you what position to take. You have to make up your own mind when it comes to that. Like you have to make up your own mind when it comes to what happens in your personal situations. I'm just saying, be mindful that someone didn't get an abortion because you're here. Someone had the right and the choice. Alright? Hold on. One second. Hold on, I think this is it. This is called the Eugenics Crusade. 16, can you put that up? The Eugenics Crusade.
On August 18th, 1934, 20-year-old Ann Cooper Hewitt, heiress to one of the largest fortunes in the United States, was admitted to a San Francisco hospital for an emergency appendectomy. She later learned the surgeons not only had removed her appendix, but also a length of her fallopian tubes, rendering her incapable of ever becoming pregnant. The story of the sterilized heiress hit the papers just after the new year in 1936, when Anne filed a $500,000 damage claim against the surgeons and her own mother for sterilizing her without her knowledge or consent. Anne's mother denied any wrongdoing. She'd done what she'd done for society's sake, she insisted, because her daughter was feeble-minded. It was the sort of bizarre high society scandal that would have captured the national imagination under any circumstances. But that one word, feeble-minded, struck a familiar chord for Americans and linked Anne's plight to a decades-old campaign to control human reproduction, known as eugenics.
What is the bearing of the laws of heredity upon human affairs? Eugenics provides the answer.
Eugenics was proposed as the scientific solution for social problems. It was a combination of hope and aspiration on one side, and on the other side, it was about fear, in some cases about hate.
They are identified early, categorized, feeble-minded, imbecile, idiot.
It would have been better by far if they had never been born.
People tend to think that eugenics was a doctrine that originated with the Nazis, that it was grounded in wild claims that were far outside the scientific mainstream. Both of those impressions are fundamentally not true.
It was almost a mania that sort of swept through the country, and there was that kind of naive, optimistic vision of eugenics, like, hey, let's all get together and make better people.
The eugenics movement was about having healthy children, about having a stronger society. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to look at the underbelly of what was implemented in the name of eugenics. to see what was so problematic about it.
All right, so let's understand this dynamic now. They said it was all about the business of making better people. Isn't that what Hitler was about? All right, this Aryan race, the superior race. All right, we can't play the whole documentary film, but go look it up, the Eugenics Crusade. That was only a piece of chapter 1. All right. Now, as we bring this talk to a close, we need to look up Harriet Washington, medical apartheid. Harriet Washington's medical apartheid. All right.
There's a bronze statue of a doctor named James Marion Sims, whose brilliant achievement carried the fame of American surgery throughout the entire world. He's the guy who created the vaginal speculum, an instrument gynecologists use for examination. He pioneered the surgical repair for fistula, a complication from childbirth, and became known as the father of modern gynecology. But that brilliant achievement was the result of a series of excruciating experimental surgeries that he conducted on enslaved women. In a lot of ways, Sims epitomizes the story of American medicine for black women.
Haunted by slavery.
It's a system that's failing them to this day, from infant mortality to life.
Infant mortality deaths per 1,000 infants. White infants 4.9. Black infants 11.3.
Expectancy. The racial disparities in healthcare are staggering.
Life expectancy in years at birth. White females 81.3. Black females 78.5.
The gulf between black and white might be widest when we look at maternal mortality.
Maternal mortality. Deaths per 100,000 live births. Black females 43.5. White females 12.7.
With black women 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with pregnancy or birth than white women.
When you look at the numbers, they don't lie. Alright? They don't lie. Alright? Harriet Washington's medical apartheid. Hold on. Ooh, I'm trying to find a small clip so we can at least hear the system. A lot of times it's best to hear it in our own voice. Alright? We're going to end this at 10:30:16.
With Juan Gonzalez.
Well, a new report by the American Cancer Society shows that African Americans are still more likely than any other group to develop and die of cancer. The study states that the socioeconomic factors play the largest role in this disparity. African Americans have less access to health care and information and are less likely to get screening and medical treatment. Well, a new book offers one answer into why black Americans deeply mistrust American medicine. Medical Apartheid, the dark history of medical experimentation on black Americans from colonial times to the present, is the first and only comprehensive history of medical experimentation, abuse, and neglect of African Americans. The book reveals the hidden underbelly of scientific research and the roots of the African American health deficit. It begins with the earliest encounters of blacks in the medical establishment during slavery, looks at how eugenics and social Darwinism were used to justify medical experiments conducted by the government and the military, and offers new details about the infamous Tuskegee experiments that began in the 1930s.
Medical apartheid also
Story
examines
was a
less
terrible
well-known
one.
abuses and looks at unethical practices and mistreatment of African Americans. They're still taking place in the medical establishment today. We're joined now by the author of the book, Harriet Washington, a medical writer and editor, a visiting scholar at DePaul University School of Law. We welcome you to Democracy Now!
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, this is a fascinating book. First of all, why did you take it on?
I took it on for 2 reasons. One, I'm a very naturally curious person, and when I was still in pre-medical undergraduate at the University of Rochester, I was working in a hospital and came across some case files that dramatically showed a disparity, a racial disparity in people who were slated to receive kidneys. and that piqued my curiosity.
What do you mean?
Well, I came across some old case files in a forgotten file folder, and one was of a black gentleman, one was of a white gentleman. The white gentleman's file was thick and full of testaments to his loving family, his insurance support, his determination to live, and detailed really Herculean attempts on the part of medical personnel to procure a kidney for him. Kidney transportation still being relatively new then. The file of the black gentleman was very thin. The word Negro appeared on every page of it, and somebody had underlined it on his social profile right above the single line that indicated that the medical staff's plans for him were to help him to prepare for his imminent demise. The white gentleman and the black gentleman were very similar in their profiles, but they were treated differently. And I wanted to know whether this was a consistent feature of medical care, just an anomaly. And as I began looking into it, I just became intrigued in the vast differences in the way African Americans were used from research.
Medical Apartheid Part 1.
But your book not just doesn't just deal with modern times, but you go back into
YouTube. Alright, we're about to close this out, but I want to play one last thing. We've been talking about Roe versus Wade. In 16, I need you, Hassan Burton, Block Boy, Carrie A, Johnny Taylor, Alex Little. I need Shane here. I need this information like extremely quick. If y'all could look it up. Did you know that Roe versus Wade was passed only because Roe, lied about being raped? And is it true that she said she was raped by black men? Let's look this up. Is this true? Let's listen.
She said she had been gang raped, gotten pregnant, was desperate to get an abortion. That's what everyone believed, as long as Jane Roe remained anonymous. When she went public, she told a different story.
You were raped while you were in Georgia?
No, I wasn't.
You were not?
No, I wasn't.
So all those stories that are in the books and so forth are not true?
Yes, sir. Yes.
They're not true.
Right. And it turned out that lying wasn't the only embarrassment this darling of the pro-choice forces presented. In her personal treatise published last year, Norma McCorvey told the story of her somewhat sordid life. Then she still adamantly supported abortion. Now she adds that to the list of sins she took with her into the baptismal pool.
I've cheated people out of money. I've sold drugs.
Did you hear this woman? She cheated people out of money. She sold drugs. She blamed black men for raping her. And this is what we're arguing today. Something based on this woman's... Janelle, you're right.
I was an abusive alcoholic for many years. I've done a lot against his teachings. But I think the far greater sin that I did was to be the plaintiff in Roe versus Wade.
I'm gonna end the show on that. What else am I gonna say? This is Professor Griff of Sirius Mindz, y'all. A gentleman that sent me a text message, he said, can I send him some links on where to go look this information up? I said, listen, the hard work that myself, Shane, 16, Soleil, and all the other people work hard to pull this information up. All you have to do is watch the show. There's about 20 resources we give out every night. All right? So, yeah. Anyway. All right, family. I got to get ready to get out of here. After we get off here, just take a deep breath and decompress, man. For real, just decompress and yeah. All right. Couple of announcements before I get out of here. All right. Of course, mic check 1 2 1 2. The website is going up. All right. Mic check 1 2 1 2 is an artist development music review. All right. To develop artists. All right. We critique people's songs live on the air. All right. Live every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, starting June 5th. All right. Right here on Sirius Mindz. All right. www.youtube.com/C/Sirius Mindz. All right. With a panel of musical industry judges, silent ones. Sign up and submit your songs at www.miccheck1212.com. For more information, hit me up 678-557-2919 or go to SiriousMindsInfo@gmail.com. All right. That's miccheck1212. All right. Okay, cool. This Sunday, if you're in the Atlanta area, if you're not traveling, I will be at Madu Bookstore at Greenbrier Mall with Sister Nia. Alright? I'm setting up a very broken down, chopped up version of the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. Shout out to Khalid El Hakim and the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. Alright? And then I'm making my way to Portland. So, Portland, Oregon. I don't even know my peeps out there. I don't know what they're doing. I ain't been in touch with them for a minute. But the flyer is on the screen. It's a Black History 101 Mobile Museum at Madu Bookstore, May 26th, between 2 to 5 p.m. All right. After that, we headed out. Me and Soleil are hosting this event, which I got to get the flyer from my dude. My dude, 7. I'll put the flyer up tomorrow. Alright? Alright. But anyway. Oh, yeah. Stay tuned for the videos. Y'all can't see them on the gram. But stay tuned for the videos. Alright, of course, we're going to do we rockin' Shut 'em Down and what? Pranayama. Soleil's Pranayama and myself and Soleil's, we remade Public Enemy song, Shut 'em Down. Alright? So 16 said the audio book, Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. She put the link up. All right, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you very much. All right. If you would like to donate to Sirius Mindz, of course, you can donate by hitting PayPal, hitting us up on PayPal. It's paypal.me/ProfessorGrtiff Corp. All right. Or just hit the Cash App, $ProfessorGrtiff. All right. Or you can donate via Super Chat, of course, right here, or you can go to the website www.ProfessorGrtiff.me and hit the donate button. Alright? Of course, we don't mind the money that jingle, but the one that fold is a little bit better. It fits easier in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So we can make some things. Now they got digital money, bitcoins and all kind of stuff. But anyway, this is Professor Griff. I love y'all to life. Alright? And of course, this is Professor Griff for Sirius Mindz that attracts Sirius Minds seriously. Alright? Peace.
What people call beautiful lives a broken and empty soul. There's a whole lot of pretty faces all around the world, but that's only the physical. You'll never truly know if someone's beautiful until you look under the veil. Under the veil is tales, lies, and secrets. Into the heart impales dies you're seeking. But what you thinking is veil, blind and bleak when it's your mind and your soul that needs to be deep in. See beauty skin deep. You're a shallow pond. There's an ocean of wisdom you need to paddle on. Take a dive in. Many jewels there. Your only interest is surface shit and fool's fare. You're a goddess. Take your rightful place. Tear the railing and stare a picture right in the face. Divine feminine. Can't be suppressed. Shakti is the energy that we manifest. Queen rule here. We the Devi tribe. Take a
hit of this tantra and feel the Kali vibe. Peel away the cloak, scrape away the scales, and see the truth of what lies behind all the fallen veils. Trying to be, cause the yachtman is blanketed like a canopy. Antithetical, saying that you real when your identity lies in all that you don't reveal. Third eye blind, eyes to contact, so you can open the lotus up like a compact. Become an offering, something more to give than the physical body that can't forever live. Rooted in passion, before the right cause. Spiritual wisdom and knowledge that make you have pause. Then let it transmute, metamorphosize. See the truth of awakening right before your eyes. If it's perception, the real magic. For you to miss all this glory, it would be tragic. So get to tearing the veil as if it was fabric, and find yourself on the path, walking the labyrinth. Us we, 8 + 3, 2 then 7, Srimati, Kali, Yuwati, Mutmawu, Sri Chandi, Peace Queen, Heaven in the Green, Serpentine back to spiraling, Peace King back to rhyming, Love Ting back to finding who we be morphologically, unique cosmologically, sun, moon, astrologically, C6 topologically, alchemical, baseline seminal, subliminal, reach thy pinnacle, ascendable, 5th dimensional, unquenchable, indispensable. Breath, ride on the breath. All that energy rides on the breath. Death to the ego, fear to the left. Free from material, now what's left? Us, you, 4, 3, 2, 1.618 come through. I'm dropping these mathematical ratios for the few whose vision is from the 6, the speaking is from the blue. I offer spiritual food and wisdom that you can use. Prasadam, aladam, along with music that's been imbued with consciousness as the mood. The goddess can't be subdued. Platonic solids and cubes and tulsi that's strongly brewed like. Ride on the breath, all that energy rides on the breath. Death to the ego, fear to the left. Free from material, now what's left? Alchemical baseline seminal. Alchemical baseline seminal. Ascendable, fifth dimensional. Dimensional, fifth dimensional. Us, you, 4, 3, 2. Us, you, 4, 3, 2. Us, you, 4, 3, 2. 1.618 come through like breeze, so we can flow. Gotta let it breathe, so we can flow. Gotta let it breathe, so we can flow. Gotta let it breathe, so we can flow. Ride on the breath, ride on the breath. All that energy rides on the breath. Death to the ego, fear to the left. Free from material, now what's left?